What's good, fam? You know, I had tried like 3 videos before this one, or 3 takes, I mean, and none of them felt authentic. I was like reading off like some notes that I had, and it didn't feel like me. It just didn't, Like I was recording and I was like, okay, I like what's coming out of me, but it's not authentic to what I'm experiencing right now. And I think I rather speak on what I'm going through right now. And I'm gonna move this so I could really get into it. I'm gonna speak as though you're here, whoever's listening to this. What's on my mind? What's on my mind? To be quite honest with you guys, what's on my mind is whether I look good, whether my outfit looks decent, whether I should take off my shirt because I'm fucking hot. So I think I might. I'm gonna get fucking comfortable instead of thinking so much about how I look. So let's start off with that. What else is on my mind? My girlfriend and I are kind of going through like a challenging time right now. And it sucks. It sucks because I love her and I want to be good. I think a lot of us can relate. Like when we're going through shit with our partners, we don't want to be in bad terms. So that sucks. What else? I'm grateful. I've been sober. I've been taking care of myself. I've been going to the gym. I've been eating healthier. The other day, I drank a little bit. I was at the beach maybe a couple days ago working on a project, and I was drinking. Like, I didn't even drink a lot. I literally had one White Claw and maybe like a fourth of a second one, and then I had a little bit, like it's literally a sip of wine. And I didn't drink for the rest of the day because it doesn't feel like me right now. It doesn't feel like it's aligned with me, and I think that's what's on my mind. It's right now the path and the journey that I'm on. It feels a bit lonely at times because I feel like I'm in the season in my life where I'm saying no to a lot of things that I'm not used to saying no to, or I guess it's things that I know are not good for me, but I still want to do them. A part of me does, I guess. A part of me still has to fight through these moments. A part of me still has to say no. And I look around me and I see how people that I know do it freely, and they have no problem doing it, and they look like they're having a good time. And sometimes it makes me question, why not? But something in my spirit tells me not to. And I'm choosing to lead with that right now. And I'm choosing to walk on more of a narrow path with myself and with God. And I feel amazing, but at the same time, sometimes it feels kind of lonely. And not in a way that feels depressing or it feels sad. It's more so in a way that I think I yearn for others to kind of be in this journey with me. But what I'm learning is sometimes God puts you in seasons where you are isolated, where it's just you and maybe like one more person. In this case, it's my brother. He's on this similar journey. And yeah. Another thing that's on my mind is boundaries. My girlfriend and I are kind of going through a difficult period, and I've noticed that her and I, we have a very similar upbringing. We have a very similar childhood experience. Not the same exact one, but a very similar one. And, we both grew up in very rough homes where boundaries weren't set, where there was a lot of yelling, there was a lot of violence, there was not the best examples of what a healthy relationship looks like. And this was something that her and I had communicated before we even got in a relationship. We were both very transparent, very honest, very vulnerable from the very beginning, which I love and I appreciate. And I really, really hold us to such a high standard in terms of, I feel as though like our relationship is very healthy, to be quite honest with you. It's at least the healthiest relationship I've ever personally been in. And yet at the same time, I've noticed that there is this notion around boundaries that because one of us or either of us sets a boundary, it feels as though we're being conditional with our love, or like one person is punishing the other person. It feels as though, damn, you don't really love me, you know? Because if you love me, like I've put up with this about you, I've done this for you, I've done this. And I'm not perfect, you know, I'm far from perfect. But I think something that I really would love to lead with is the healthy examples of what I feel love is. The healthy examples of the things that I wish I grew up seeing in my household. And I know she's on the same page, but you know, in moments of conflict, sometimes you revert back to old ways. And I think for a lot of us, we didn't really grow up seeing examples, or healthy examples at least, of love. And a lot of us, you know, on social media, like we glamorize love and we try to project ourselves in a certain way that feels very perfect, but we don't ever really document the grittiness of it in moments like this. And this is another reason why I started this, and I'm starting this, is because I feel like what I have to offer is just the rawness of everything that you see. And I don't want to filter anything. I don't want to present myself as a perfect being, because I'm not that. But I think in relationships, you learn a lot about yourself and you learn a lot about the other person. And in the beginning, it feels all amazing and butterflies and rainbows. But after a year, you know, I've been with my girlfriend for a little bit over a year. You start to see where we're both, the areas that we're both working on. And you start to see each other for who you really are, you know? And I was reading something today, and it was this lady that said, you know, the more deeper you go into a relationship, the more you spend time with someone and the more comfortable you become, the more you begin to see each other's traumas, the more each other's traumas begin to rise to the surface. And it's so true, man. Like in the beginning, you know, everything's good because you're so excited to talk to a person, you're so excited to connect. But after a while, you know, you get comfortable, you feel safe to express certain parts of yourself with each other. And that comes with other things. And I'm not demonizing my girlfriend. I think, to be honest with you, she's a beautiful person. And I think her and I both have shit to work on. It's just what it is. We don't have a perfect relationship, but I will say this, we have a very good relationship. We have a very strong foundation. And right now we're experiencing something new. We're experiencing difficult times that we have not experienced before. So I think what I'm learning is we're going through different seasons. I'm going through a different season with my girl. And different seasons require different ideas, different ways of dealing with things. And we have an opportunity, guys, at all times, not just with romantic relationships, but when problems arise, we have the opportunity to literally refocus and rewire the way we do things. And so the way I'm choosing to look at this, it's how can we move forward with love above everything, respect, and how can we choose wisdom over everything? And how can I lead this relationship? I think as a man, I want to be able to lead with love. And I will say, I'm not perfect, but I hold myself to very high standards, and my girlfriend knows how much I respect her and how much I love her. And that's something that I will give myself a pat on the back for. I know that I'm good to my girl. And I know she's good to me. We're just going through it. We're going through it. It's hard, man. Like when you're both trying to literally. Oh, that sounded like a fart. It wasn't, I promise. I don't know if y'all heard that, but it sounded like a fart. But when you're both literally trying to change the way you've been brought up, it's very hard, man. And this is why I have grace for my girl, because I know parts of her that are intimate and I understand why she does certain things. However, in relationships, just because you understand why someone reacts the way they react, it doesn't make it okay. And now this is where it gets hard to balance. And this is me figuring it out as I speak. This is where it gets hard to balance, because I want to show grace, but at the same time, I need to be able to respect my own boundaries, right? And this is vice versa. So it's a hard balance, but I think something I'm learning also is patience. I am at a different journey. I'm on a different path than she is. And I know, like, when we're going through shit, it's very easy for me to look at her and be like, damn, like, you're not being the best version of yourself. But there have been times where I have been low throughout this relationship and she has held me down. You know, and this is also a reminder for myself, Diego, like, she has held you down when you weren't doing that great either. And it's just a balance, you know, it's a balance. And that's love, I think. Love is being able to support each other when you're not at your best. But I do think that you should still have boundaries. And that's something else I'm learning too, is how to feel comfortable expressing my boundaries, how to feel comfortable expressing my concerns, and how to not feel bad about it. As long as I'm doing it with respect, which I do and which I am, I should not feel bad about expressing things that I need. However, I should not expect her to fulfill those needs of mine. It's either she can or she can't. You know, it's either she's able to or she's not able to. And you cannot put all the pressure on someone to make you happy. That's something I'm learning right now. I need to fill my own cup, even in this relationship. And I think sometimes we forget that. You know, we both came into this relationship I think we were in very good places separately. And when you fall in love, I know it might sound cheesy, but you kind of become one. It's true, man. Like, I feel like I feel so connected to her. I feel so close to her. And in many ways, you start depending on each other again, right? You fall into this pattern. And I'm learning how to be okay with being by myself, even while being in a relationship. And God wants me to learn something right now. I'm learning, you know, she's learning, and I think I needed this. Because I was starting to feel disconnected from her, because we're on different paths right now. And I'm not saying my path is better than hers, but we're on different paths. And sometimes that makes me feel disconnected from her. And I start to feel very unsafe and very scared. Most importantly, I start to feel scared because I don't want to feel disconnected from her. And when we're on different paths, it makes me feel disconnected. And that makes me feel like we're not in love, or we're falling out of love, or we're falling out of touch. I'm still exploring this, but I know it has to do with, like, attachment styles. It has to do with both of our past. But you learn, and this feels great. Honestly, this feels amazing to be able to talk about this. I don't think we get enough of this. I don't think we hear enough of this, or we see enough of this. I have spoken to my girlfriend also about bringing her here and us having a conversation, because I really, really believe that the way her and I handle things when we're grounded is very beautiful. I've seen us go through difficult conversations gracefully and beautifully. And every time we finish, I just think to myself, man, people need to see this. People need to see how couples deal with conflict in lifetime in a healthy way. Because it's one thing for me to preach it and talk about it, but it's another thing to see it, you know? So I think that might be my next idea, bringing her on this YouTube channel of mine and us both expressing our concerns and our needs and seeing, and you guys getting able to see how we navigate through that. I don't think I know everything. But I will say I have a lot of experience in relationships. I'm only 29, but I've been in relationships that have taught me a lot because I have messed up a lot. And I think I'm very wise because of how much I've messed up. And I think it will just be a very beautiful experience for other people to see, and very unique experience. I don't think I see that. I think a lot of the couples that present themselves on social media, they're usually very presentable. You know, like they're not like solving shit in live time. At least I haven't seen any. If you guys have, send them my way. Like I would love to see that. But yeah, man, be patient with yourself, be patient with others. Nobody's perfect. And I think that's another thing God is teaching me. Be humble and speak from love. Speak from a place of love. And if you really want to help someone, speak it with love. Another thing before I finish this, because I think we're like 17 minutes in, is how to be okay being alone even while in a relationship. And I think because of my own shit from my past, and I don't want to say shit. I want to reword that, rephrase that. My own experiences from my past, I've noticed that my girlfriend and I, our triggers trigger each other. Does that make sense? Like my triggers trigger her triggers and vice versa. And sometimes it's like we're both fucking triggered. We're both like, fuck, man. It's hard. It's hard. And I remember there was this one time her and I were going through something, and we ended up meeting up and we're like, okay, we really need to talk. Like we had gone through days of just going back and forth, bickering at each other. And I remember we got in the car, it's just quiet. The air is thick, you know, and we get to a park and she's like, can we just hug? Or did she say, can you hug me? Can we just, something along those lines. And she comes out and I come out and we go like this and we just meet and we just hug, and we didn't say a word. We didn't have to talk about it immediately. We didn't have to say anything. All you needed was just presence. All you needed was just embracement. And I think sometimes we think that we need to talk. And yes, I'm a strong believer, like, because we did talk after that. But sometimes no words are needed. Sometimes all you need is love. And that's the same thing with us. Sometimes we don't need to give ourselves the pep talk. We just need to love ourselves through it. We need to be able to know that we're here for ourselves. I hope that this conversation helped. And if you're going through something, I don't know how many of y'all are in relationships, but I think the people that are in relationships, you know what I'm talking about. It's not easy. But you do learn a lot. I learn a lot in relationships. I've learned a lot throughout my relationships, and I'm learning a lot in this relationship, because this relationship is the best that I've ever showed up. The best Diego has come out of this relationship, or has shown up in this relationship. But I'm still learning, you know? Feels good to express, man. Feels good to let it out. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And again, these entries, or these videos, I mean, are like journal entries for me. It's a way for me to express and be myself. I hope that I can continue to express myself, and for those videos that come I hope that I can continue to express myself and for these videos to be able to help you in any way. Even if you're not in a relationship. Much love. And pass this down, man. Subscribe, like, comment. I appreciate all the support. Even if we're right now, like, I think the last video got 90 views. We're starting off. It's hard to do this because I feel like I don't really have an audience right now, to be fully transparent, but I believe in this. I really do. I really, really, really believe in this. I really believe in this, and it's gonna work out. Everything is gonna work out. Much love.